Okay, we're gonna do Pythagorean theorem. You guys should know this from middle school, but I understand that if you guys don't remember it, then you know what? We're gonna do it again. Okay, Pythagorean theorem, most famous mathematical formula in the world. It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? That's what it is. Now, there's two things you need to know. You need to know A, the hypotenuse is always the C length. It's the longest length on the triangle, and it's always the one that's opposite the right angle, right? That's called the hypotenuse. So you got to make sure you know that. A and B are the legs. They're the other two sides, right, of the triangle. So when you use Pythagorean theorem, you got to take this and square it, you got to take that and square it, and you set it equal to that and square it. All right? So let's go through and do some of the problems. You guys should remember this, okay? All right, let me move this up. All right, so find the length of the hypotenuse. So you got to remember, across from the right angle is the C length, okay? It doesn't matter. You can call this A and that B. Doesn't matter. Remember, you're going to set it in. It's in the corner here. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So we're going to do 3 squared plus 4 squared. And we're going to set it equal to C, which is x squared. Okay? Now, we've already done this with the distance formula. At least you guys should have practiced it and learned it. But this is what you guys do. Do 3 squared in your calculator. It's 9. Do 4 squared in your calculator. It's 16. Right? Okay? Then add them together. That's 25. Okay? Now, you need to remember this. When you have x squared here, you got to get rid of the square. You're going to take the square root of the left and the right side. You do it on both sides. It's like an equation, right? Okay? What's the square root of 25 in your calculator? It should be 5, right? So x in this case is 5. If I use the Pythagorean theorem, I can figure out my answer. That's it. Done. Right? Okay. All right. Let's look over here. I know this diagram is tough to see, but it looks like it says find the length of the hypotenuse. So this is the hypotenuse again. It's across. There's a right angle in here. I know you can't see it. Draw it in there. It's across from the right angle. And look, this side over here is 8. I'm going to call that A. This side over here is B. I'm going to call that 6. We're going to call that B. And then you have your answer. You have your numbers. 8 squared plus 6 squared equals C squared. All right? So let's do, and we'll call that x just because I don't know what it is. So we'll do 8 squared plus 6 squared equals x squared. There's the equation. All right, square them up. Use your calculator. 8 squared is 64. 6 squared is 36. Add them together. That's 10, 9. That's 100. And remember the last step. Square root. Square root. What's the square root of 100? Done. Finito. All right? Easy. Okay. We need to do this problem. This problem is a little different, but it's easy. Watch. Wait a second. This here is C. All right? Okay? And then this side and this side are the legs. You can call this A. We can call this B. It doesn't matter. A and B can be switched, but across from there is C. Remember, it goes A squared plus B squared equals C squared. All right? That means in this case, it's going to be x squared. Then it's going to be plus 5 squared. Then it's going to be, it's got to be equal to, 13 squared. All right? So it's x squared plus 5 squared equals 13 squared. All right. Can't square x. 5 squared is 25. 13 squared. Anybody know what 13 squared is? If you don't, take your calculator out. 13 squared. All right? It's 169. Now what do I do? Okay, guys, this is like an equation. We got to take the 25 and we got to move it over. So I'm actually going to subtract 25 over here. And again, I don't know what it is. All right, 169 minus 25 is 144. So I got 144, and then I'm going to square root it. What's the square root of 144? It's 12, right? Okay, so there you go. This one's a little different. Make sure you pay attention. Guys, you can rewind the video, right? You can rewind my video. You can go through and you can do it. Guys, these are all practice. They're all the same thing, right? Just make sure that when you look at number 4, you go across. That's the C length, right? You can call XA and 10b, but then you still got to do the Pythagorean theorem on it. So, like, you know, you got to set it up as x squared plus 10 squared, and it should equal 14 squared, right? Now listen, I don't know all these answers. I need a calculator. I know this is 100, right? I believe this is 196. I'm just going to test it out. What's 14 squared? It's 196. I got it right. Remember, this is an equation. When x is on the same side when you're adding, we got to subtract 100. Subtract 100. Don't have any room. I'm going to write it up here. X squared equals 196 minus 100 is 96. Square root. The square root of 96 is a nasty decimal. Okay? All right. From yesterday's lesson, do you see in the directions here? It says simplest radical form. When you get, right? When you get a decimal, right? You got to actually break it down, radical, right? So we got to simplify it. Do you guys remember? We need to actually use our perfect squares, right? Okay? I don't know what perfect square goes into 96. So I'm going to divide it. Let's see. Does 4 go into it? Yeah, but you know what? The bigger the number, the bigger it is, right? Okay, let's try 9. Okay, 9 doesn't go into it. Let's try 16. All right, 16 goes into it. That's it, 16 and 6. Sometimes you got to try bigger numbers. This is 16 and 6, square root. What's the square root of 16? Oh, yeah, it's 4. So there you go. There's my answer, 4 radical 6. Okay? First of all, the directions say simplest radical form. When you go to get that and you get a decimal, you might have to break it down. Okay? If you're doing the IXL and it says, right, don't worry, you know, put it in decimal form, then put it in decimal form. Like, there's nothing else I could tell you, right? Maybe we should do example 5 here, and then you know what? We got to do a word problem or 2, right? But let's do this one, okay? All right. This is C, because it's across from the right angle. This is A, this is B. So, x squared plus 3 squared equals 13 squared, right? X squared plus 9 equals, I don't know what 13 squared is. Actually, I do know it. Look, it's 169. Boom, see? All right, 169 minus 9, x squared equals 160. Okay, I'm going to write it up here. X squared equals 160 because when I go to take the square root, that's a decimal. I know it. I'm going to break it down. And guys, it's 16. See that? 16 and 10. If I take the square root, take the square root. This is 4 radical 10. Done. You guys got to know how to simplify radicals. Simplifying radicals is really, 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 really important. And you're going to have to use it. You might have to use it on IXL. So I gave you all week to do simplifying radicals, and now it's in Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem you guys should know from last year. I'm going to skip these. You can do those later, okay? I'm going to skip all this stuff. We don't need to do it, okay? This is more of the same practice, all right, okay? All right, I want to get down to, right, this is page number 5, right? But I want to do 1 or 2 word problems, and then I'm going to be done, all right? Okay? And listen, all of the word problems in this Pythagorean theorem thing, they're all a right triangle. Why don't you guys draw a right triangle? All of the word problems are right triangles, all of them. And here's the thing, we got to read it, and we just got to try to picture on the triangle where the numbers go. So it says here, a ramp was constructed to load a dock. If the ramp, do you see how it says the ramp is 9 feet long, right? Okay. And the horizontal distance at the bottom of the ramp is 7 feet. Okay. Look at this. They gave me the 2 dimensions. What is the vertical height? They want me to find the vertical height of the ramp. Okay. Guys, look at the triangle. What's the horizontal distance? This is the horizontal distance from left to right. It says the horizontal distance from the bottom of the ramp is 7. Okay? What do you think the ramp is? Do you think the ramp is this side? No. The ramp is going to be the one that's diagonal. It's like a ramp going up. The ramp is 9 feet long, right? And then they want to know what the vertical height distance is. This is vertical, and this is the height. So we're just going to call it x. So listen, all of these, word problems, they're all right triangles. Try to picture which side goes with these numbers. And just read it closely. The ramp is the diagonal piece. Horizontal is this way, vertical is that way. Done. I got to solve for x, Pythagorean theorem. That's C. That's A. That's B. Same thing, guys. You should know this. You guys are going to notice that when you go in IXL, it's in the 7th grade column because you guys should have done this in 7th grade. All right. X squared, 7 squared equals 9 squared. Okay, these are easy. 7 squared is 49. 9 squared is 81. Now, look, it's an equation when x is on the side with the plus sign. So we're going to subtract 49, subtract 49. Right? Okay, what's 81 minus 49? I miss my calculator. Here's my calculator. I love my calculator, by the way. All right? Okay? You guys need to be able to do it. It's 32. Right? Square root, square root. What the heck is the square root of 32? Square root of 32 is decimal. Decimals are no good. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break it down. Now, what goes into 32? Take your perfect squares, right? Guys, don't forget them, right? Take your perfect squares and start dividing them into 32. Okay, 4 is good, but I'm going to go higher. Let's do 9, and let's do, boom, 16. You guys see it? 16. This is 16 and 2. Square root, square root. What's the square root of 16? 4? Okay, so listen. Some of these are going to be radicals. When you get a decimal, you might have to break it down, okay? So listen, sometimes they can give you decimals. Sometimes you got to break it down. Let's do 1 or 2 more word problems, right? Okay, let's do number 2, right? And guys, before I do anything, I'm just going to draw a right triangle. Why? All of these are right triangles. A 13-foot ladder, there you go, right, is leaning against the wall. Oh, really? Okay. The ladder reaches up 12 feet on the building, right? How far is the bottom of the ladder? You see the word bottom? The bottom of the ladder to the building. Okay. You guys obviously understand that the bottom is here, right? Which one's the ladder? This should be the ladder. Guys, listen, I'm not an artist, but I'm going to draw like, yeah, there's the ladder. There's my ladder, and it goes against the building, right? You know what I mean? I like to draw a little building here, put some little bricks in, right? Okay, it doesn't look very nice, but, you get the idea. Okay, there's my building. Doesn't look really nice. But the ladder is 13 feet, right? And it says it goes 12 feet up on the building, right? Okay, so you're going to have to picture and draw a few of these. Do your best. Seriously, do your best. All right. C is 13. We'll call this A. We'll call that B. It doesn't matter. X squared plus 12 squared equals 13 squared. It's Pythagorean theorem. You guys know what to do next, right? This is 144. This is 169. It's an equation. You got to actually subtract 144, right? I'm going to write it up here since I don't have enough room. All right, that's 5, and that's 2, and that's 0. Easy peasy. Is that not a perfect square? If you do it in your calculator, it'll give you 5. No need to break it down. X equals 5. I'm finished. Finito. Right? Okay? So I'm going to be honest with you guys. These questions aren't that hard, right? I'm going to skip 3 and 4. Listen, it says here 3, it says it's a square. You guys all can draw a square, right? And it says, right, the sides are all 5. So on a square the 5. And it says the diagonal. The diagonal is here. This is the right triangle. That's C and that's A and B. You guys can figure that out. I want to do one more problem. I got to find it. See, this is the homework. I think, I don't know if I put the homework answers up there, but I want to do one more of these, right? Okay. I like to do number 7 on the last page. This is page 8. Okay, so find number 7. You can pause the video if you need to. All right, I like this one. Casey walked 8 miles north and 3 miles west. How far is she from her starting point? Let's say Casey starts right here. 8 miles north is that way, right? Okay. Oops. 8 miles north, I should have put it over here because 3 miles west is that way, right? West is to the left. And I'm going to draw a little right diagonal here, and they want to know how far she is. So listen, this is C, this is A, that's B. Easy peasy. 3 squared, 8 squared equals C squared, or we can call it X. We'll call it X. Right? 3 squared is 9. 8 squared is 64. When I add that together, right, what do I get? I get 73, right? Okay, X squared, right? All right, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know if anything goes in the 73. 73 is a nasty number, right? Let's get my calculator out. 73 divided by 4, no. 73 divided by 9, no. 73 divided by 16, no. Let's try 73 divided by 25, no good. 73 divided by, what's after, oops, 73. What's after, whoops, come on, calculator. 73 divided by, I think it's 36, no. 73 divided by 49, no. 73, oops, not 73, 76. Well, 73, I wrote 76. Divided by 64, nope. Nothing goes in the 73. So you know what? I'm going to leave my answer as the square root of 73. And if it asks for a decimal, I guess I could turn it into a decimal, but it doesn't matter. All right? Guys, you have practice problems with the answers on there, right? Okay? And then you need a calculator. You guys can also use your phone. But practice. And then you have 3 IXL assignments. Please do them. 1 is word problems, and the other 2 are finding the sides. Okay? That's your assignment this week. All right? Have a good one.